Hi guys, it's the Queen. It's my Talk to Me Tuesday for September 11th, 2018. Please first give a moment of silence to those that have lost their lives in the tragedy 17 years ago for the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. It's hard to believe that that happened 17 years ago. I worked at the school then, and I remember being in the computer lab with some students, and one of the music teacher came down and gave us the news. A lot of the kids that I worked with were like third graders, so they didn't really understand, but the whole staff was it was a really somber day, to say the least. Anyway, let's switch gears, and on a happier note, I want to announce that I have been brainstorming and thinking on this for a long time and going back and forth, and I've decided to go ahead and fully fledged start my design, creative, crafting, quilting, you name it business. Today I'm watching the Home Shopping Network. I hardly ever do that, and they have a lot of deals on there since it's National Sewing Month, and there's a few machines that I will think about getting since they have the Flex Pay plan. I'm gonna turn this TV off just for a moment. Okay, because I don't plan on having any pictures to put up in the space, but just in case. It was a heart-wrenching decision to walk away from daycare, so I'm not going to totally walk away from it. I'm going to have a select clientele with Jaxon, of course, and maybe 2 to 3 other families, and that will be it. I won't accept any more unless one of those families grows out of my program, and then their spot will become available. I have been tired of the treatment that you get as a child care provider. It's pretty thankless. Some parents appreciate you and some don't, but that's with any job, I think. But I think with daycare, it's a little bit more personal because you're working with those kids one-on-one, and you grow an attachment to them, they grow an attachment to you, and then usually it's about money. When a parent is late and you put a fee on them, or you put a stipulation on something, they get extremely angry, and the first thing they do is they pull their child. I haven't had that happen in a while, but it's still a sore subject with me because, it affects my emotions and my wallet. And it's not fun to have to go through things like that. So I'm going to slowly creep into my other business, and the third business that's going to ride on the coattail of the crafting would be the parties, because everyone seemed to love Jackson's birthday party, all the pictures that I put up, and I've done creative parties like that for my own kids, and it was one of the things that I wanted to do when I first started looking into being an entrepreneur. I was not pleased with the school district, and thank goodness I got out when I did, because 17 years later, hey, it's not any better. It's completely worse. They're shutting schools down, which is completely unheard of to me. Anyway, I wanted to do a party planning business just for kids, because a lot of parents want to have a party. They always have to take them to a facility like Chuck E. Cheese or the Jungle Bungle, places like that with bounce houses, and it's not really much of a party. It's basically a gathering of hyperactive kids running around. You eat, you get gifts, you go home. And then it doesn't really create any lasting memories. So I always wanted to do that, and I would come in and do that service for a parent that doesn't either have the time or the creative gene to pull it off. So I think I'm going to start back into that. I still have my logo. I went to classes for small business and wrote up my whole business plan draft and everything, and talked with my family at the time. I was married. The kids were gung-ho because it was going to give them a job. They were excited about being able to work and earn some money by helping me getting materials together or just being an assistant at the parties. But then my husband was not supportive, so it was a kind of a downer, and I just scrapped the whole idea, just set it all aside. I even had a web page, and the link is no longer active, but I can still access it and put it on a different server probably under my Creative Castle umbrella, because I own that domain. So, you know, I've got a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and I think about all that stuff while I'm sewing, which I've been doing a lot of sewing on the Jaxon bags and getting them together. And speaking of, on Friday, I was able to get in on the Sarah Lawson's So Sweetness First Friday Sew-In. It's a live chat that she does through Facebook and YouTube. And I mentioned, I was showing some things. I mentioned Fandom and Stitches, and I showed my Harry Potter quilt that I made for Zoe, and they loved it. And they happened to see the heart quilt on my design wall as I was going past, and then they asked about that quilt. So then I went ahead and told them that that was my logo for my Broken Heart Bag Company, and I was making fundraiser bags for my grandson. And they asked if there was a GoFundMe, and I gave them the link to the drawing for the superhero quilt. So that's been generating a little bit of interest, I'm hoping. And so one of the things that I will be doing with my sewing business is being a bag lady. I will be creating bags, and I have one of Sarah's books already. I think I might have shown it before. It's called Big City Bags, I'm sorry. And she's got a second book called Windy City Bags, and I need to order that. And every time you order a book, you get a free pattern. So the pattern that I chose was the Crimson and Clover train cases, because there's 3 different sizes in there. And I thought that was, hey, a pretty good deal. 3 different patterns in one for free. And I just recently purchased her bundle, and they're doing a bag as a sew-along right now that's called the Tooter Bag. And I've been going through my stash, and I think that's going to be one great way to get rid of my stash or decrease my stash from time to time, is by making some of the bags. And there's a line called the Minikins. I need to order that bundle. That's 12 different patterns, and those are cute little pouches and whatnots, and it's just a whole line of stuff. And I'll put her link in the description, and so you guys can go over and see it in case anyone else is interested in trying their hand at bag making. But yeah, that's my big announcement. I can't show the project that I worked on last week because it has not been sent to the recipient yet, and just in case, I don't want to be the one to spill any beans, because I don't know who watches me. Probably nobody. But anyway, I didn't want to be the one to spoil anyone's surprise, so I will not show the pictures of that up until I get the word that says, hey, yep, they received it. So anyway, I'm going to end that now because I got kids coming in any moment. I'm going to get back to listening to the deals on HSN. I am going to definitely get in on that scan and cut, because it's only $2.99, and you get to do the flex pay, so I can afford $60 a month, or $55, I think, $55 a month to get that paid off. That's well worth it, because it's not even going to be released to the public until either next month or not even until next year. I'm not sure of the exact release date. But anyway, Hug the ones you love. I'm sorry, I've got my other hand on the selfie stick. As you can tell, the camera's been moving around. Hug the ones you love. Stay crafty and creative, and I will see you all in your videos. Bye.